Can you believe it?
Wow.
Good thing I'm doing that. Don't see anybody else at all yet.
Well, we were a little early, but
Maybe Joanne's gonna come here.
a couple minutes early.
Getting any surge at the hospital?
Not a COVID. We're kind of at our baseline of 40 to 50 COVID patients.
Oh, good.
The rest of the hospital is always in like surge mode, it seems. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Well, what did I see the other day? Some huge percentage of hospital staff is left.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, around the country, not just.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people have decided they've had enough of healthcare, or it's kind of a profound problem, or they join travel agencies because they decided, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well do this in like 6 times more money. So, which can't blame people, right? And they know at the end of the day, if they want to come back and get their job back, but that job's still going to be there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more people looking at that option than before. But that's,
When there isn't as much travel, I thought.
well, there's less travel, but travel nurses, they usually take an assignment for like 2 to 3 months at a go.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes up to like 6 months. And then every hospital, like that's the backup plan. And if we're so short staffed, the backup plan is to hire travel nurses because that's where there are nurses with experience who aren't fresh out of school, don't need a year of training. That's
Yeah.
kind of go. Other than that, there's really nowhere to get new people in healthcare. There's not a lot of people like me who have 5-6 years with experience and have been at a hospital thinking like, oh, well, maybe I'll see what Hartford Hospital is all about, or,
Yeah.
what UConn Health. So it's not like there's a lot of movement there. So to get experienced people, they got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And most of them are the travel people, but there are travel nurses who are making 6,000 to 7,000 a week.
What?
Compared to my staff nurses are going to pay $1,000 a week. You know what I mean? Like
Whoa.
not even really. They would only be making maybe like 600 a week or so. So it's like you get a couple people out of school who are like 22, 23, have a year or two of nursing experience under the belt, and they talk to the travel nurse, and the travel nurse is like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm making." Thinking 18 to 25 a month, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, I'm just living in mom and dad's house. Like I have literally nothing time, no financial responsibilities, no relationship responsibilities. There is no reason why you just drive to not very far away and make that money. Move smart. It's not like you got to go hundreds of miles. It's like,
Right.
Morning, Joanne.
Good morning, David.
oh, well, instead of driving to New Haven,
I see you recording us already.
I am. Wonders of wonders.
You have Goose Lane.
How are you this morning?
Not too bad. Still have pain on the right side of it, but
I mean, so
getting a little better. But
right?
the half dozen right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I still have to get to the root of it. I think it's more than the knee, clearly, but
Health center.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you
and
got
figuring out which doctor to go to next.
police station, like,
Oh.
all those, like, kind of within an hour drive.
Yeah.
So that's what people.
Well,
Mary.
They are.
I have no recommendations for knee.
That's really the leg. I think it's I think I need to go back to
Like a,
So,
check out the veins, the arteries, all of that.
you know,
Yeah.
these days.
yeah. So,
Morning,
And it's been
Bill.
a busy month.
Good morning, David.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
I have a closed eye because I had an eye retina repair done yesterday. So I'll keep my eye closed probably, if anybody's wondering.
Well, I didn't think you were just winking at me.
Travel people don't-
No, it's a long wink.
Usually they go through travel company.
Okay, well, we're
Usually they're not. as-
we're actually past time, so we're going to start here.
Getting into the hospital, but, if you're one of the young people, usually it's whatever.
Yeah,
Especially if you're still on your parents' insurance.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know that.
Okay. Uh, Questions? Reports? What's difficult? What's easy?
One thing I've noticed is that I think particularly as we get to 5 and 6, as we're really working the organs, that you need even more space between meals and doing Tai Chi. That normally I have a good amount of space, but I feel just even a cup of coffee, right? I'm thinking of back when Adam and I were like sipping coffee during, during class. I feel like I have to really, have an empty stomach to do these
Aha.
more than any of the other, practices we've done.
It's good not to have eaten at least a half an hour before.
Oh, I find it has to be more than an hour now with
It
this,
should be.
this practice.
Yeah.
Yes, much more. Yeah,
Preferably, you're absolutely correct.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's just a lot to pay attention to.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, simultaneously, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, at the
yeah, that's
beginning,
all.
as we learn, the various motions, it's, it's linear, it's consecutive. Okay, I'll add this, I'll add this, and then when you really get into it,
There's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
there is a lot. I find, some of it, for me, I feel like I'm a lot better at the rounding. The thing that's hardest is slowing down the breath and, coordinating with the breath sometimes. But
Yep.
mostly slowing down the breath
Mhm.
and slowing down the motion for me is a continual issue.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty common issue in the West. It just takes us a while to get to where we can allow our breath to slow and not run out of breath. Anything?
Movement 1. It just does, I don't know what it is about movement 1. It doesn't seem to do much energetically. I have a hard time connecting with the energy there. Don't know why.
So that's interesting. Movement 1, of course, is supposed to get the energy moving. That's really a significant part of what happens. Does it seem to improve as you do one?
A little bit, yeah. you know, and I think it is working, 'cause then when I get to 2, it's like the awareness wakes up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. But in 1 itself, it doesn't seem to kick on.
Yeah.
Um,
I think one of the things too is later on when we really get to where we can begin to connect to the fascia and the really get twisting of the fascia to work. It really makes it. It's interesting. Movement 1 is one of the places where it seems to make a big difference, but that's quite a ways down the road yet. So, but I'll try to watch and see if I see anything that.
Sure.
So anything else for anyone?
A question for 6. When the hands come up, when they first cross and touch, like roughly by way, do they stay with like with the Lagong points connected until they start coming down and then cross to the wrist, or should they kind of at by way get right to the wrists crossing?
Yeah. It's just like the lower postures where you connect and it goes right
Connecting
to the
those.
wrist.
Okay.
So same thing here. And remembering now, one of the interesting things about 6, I might say, is because you're going up and coming down, one of the things that I see happening to people is their shoulders get stuck and the arms, the hands lead down. You really have to relax the shoulders after you make that connection and allow the shoulders to come down with that movement. Otherwise, it really creates a block. Really.
While we're there, we're in 6, and I've missed the class, but I did go through the class virtually. But when how do your hands connect at the top, coming down?
Well, remember that you have to, of course, remember that in your transition from 4 to 5 that everything condensed. And when 5 comes in and connects to the lower dantian, that's where you then begin this movement. And the hands cross, you're not bringing the hands above by way, but to the height. And so the hands connect, the wrists cross, and you bring the wrist down. Okay?
Yeah.
Other questions?
So the wrists are connecting at the same point that they were at the point where you started from down to up. Is that right? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that that's the way it's always going to be, but this is a stage of development. So, yeah.
You've trained us to expect change, David.
I know, and believe me, Bruce has reinforced that, which Master Joe originally taught me. I don't know whether I ever taught you one of my first workshops at the Tai Chi farm. At the lunchtime break, I was madly practicing, and one of his students who'd been around for a while said, "I don't know why you're practicing so hard. He's going to change it this afternoon." So, all right. So one of the things I want to go to today is how to close this. Um, and it's a fairly significant closing. And so what I'd like you to do is to stand up and do 10 repetitions of each posture. So I can kind of see where you are. And as you come to the end of 6, when you come down, pause at the dantian and close your eyes, and I will guide you through the steps of this closure. And as you stand here, begin focusing on pulling the chi from your feet, your fingertips, and the crown of your head and your spine into your dantian. When you feel it's all in your lower dantian, just relax that chi in your lower dantian. To let go of any tension in that chi. And then let the chi from your dantian extend to your 5 extremities, your fingertips, your toes, and the top of your head. And then bring it back to your lower dantian. When you get everything into your lower dantian, just completely relax and let the whole chi of your entire body integrate into your lower dantian. Now, if your mind is agitated at this point, you might need to do the closing again. You might need to do it 2 or 3 times until your mind becomes very, very calm and quiet. And let your hands separate and relax down to your sides with fingertips pointing to the earth. And just let whatever chi that's in your lower dantian that wants to move, to circulate throughout your body. Let it circulate until your mind is calm. Your body has no physical agitation. And only then, very slowly, open your eyes. And whenever you're ready, you can sit down. So that closing, you might take much longer with any part of it that you need to. I think one of the important things, if you're going to do that closing, is to really try to feel each part of it. And give yourself time to go through it. If you have a day when you don't have time to do that closing, you can simply bring the hands down to the lower dantian and think of it in terms of how we close our other Qigong practices. A simpler way of doing it, but there are some real benefits in doing the longer closing if you can do so. Some questions on that?
Yeah, if you you only have not a lot of time.
Yeah.
Would you be better off to not do as many repetitions? So instead of doing a practice of 10, do a practice of 6 and have time for the closing?
I think that depends on what you feel you need to practice that day.
Okay.
I think there could be a benefit in that because we tend to rush closing. And I speak from personal experience. And so, yeah, doing fewer repetitions and giving yourself the freedom of the time to really allow yourself to do that closing, I think could be very beneficial. But there's also, you may feel the need to try to get a hold of all of these postures. I mean, you're all doing well for the stage that we're at. It's not, and certainly I will go through and try to just point out a couple of things in each posture, but if you think back a few weeks, you couldn't do any of this. And this is not easy. Clearly, you have been practicing or you wouldn't be able to do what you just did. So I want you to recognize what you have accomplished. And I'm going to give you a couple of points on each one here. So in one, I think one of the things that I noticed was that there was a tendency to extend the arms out and lose the extension of the hands. And if you remember back when we really broke this down, that extension of the hands is an important piece of this whole movement. So that I think is important not to lose that. So that is involved with the not extending too much too soon. This is something that's taking its time to get there so that you have all of that growing extension to move the energy up your body. Stay aware of the twisting. It's that I think is a difficult piece in one because of the position of the arms. And a caution to everybody in all the postures where the arms, the hands and elbows should be in front of the sidelines of the body. that's important because you're working with either up or down that sideline of the energy. And when your arms move into the center, when your hands come into the center, you are confusing the movement and the energy is not moving in the way that you want it to move. So all of those postures where the hands, particularly 4, I'll get there in a minute, but particularly 4, really important that the hands and arms be on the sideline, not the elbows on the sideline and the hands in the middle, which I saw happening. 2 is pretty good. I think one of the things about 2, to make sure that you are, when you start up, that you are twisting out all the way to this point, and that you're twisting in to the lower dantian, not part way up the torso. This is not 5. It is very easy to do that. And I saw 2 looking a lot like 5 sometimes. So it's really important to remember that here you're bringing the energy down, indeed down the side channels and down through the etheric body, and then into the Kwa and the Dantian. And so it's not here, it's here when you complete. The arms are down so that they can go up and out. Okay. 3, quite good. Actually, I was rather impressed. You all certainly made real progress with 3. The circle is beginning to look really quite good. I think one of the things I would say that seemed to me to be getting lost for some of you is the extension at 3 and 9, or the straightening of the spine, really is what I'm referring to. So when you get to that position at 3, there is a straightening of the spine that at that point, and then you come in and there is a straightening of the spine at each of those points. And that's an important piece. And I understand the difficulty with the C curve, particularly at 12. It gets very subtle and fairly tight through there. But important that you get that extension, that straightening of the spine at 3 and 9. 4, I think I already mentioned the big thing, it was getting the hands in, but also in 4, remembering that you are bending and twisting in all the way down to the dantian. And then you are beginning to twist and straighten from that point to here. So you're bending and twisting in, straightening and twisting out as you go out to the extent of the etheric body and then up. Don't let that circle get too compressed. I'd say looking at Bill because I could see him. Let it have a little more freedom of movement. 5 and 6, our newest postures. I think everybody's still working on those. Again, remember that because you have condensed in the transition from 4 to 5, that the movements of 5 and 6 are, the bending and straightening are smaller. So that's a little confusing in 6 in particular, but one of the things is that the arms don't bend in so much to the body. They're staying out as they come in, and then you have the same straightening. You have a bigger circle. There's more going on in terms of rotation from the shoulder, but the bending and straightening need to be more condensed, smaller. When you get to 5, don't let the movement come in here. Don't let it come too close to the body. From here, it's coming down, but it's still out, and you're bending here. So when you get to this point, you don't want to bend the arms too quickly, because you need to be able to bend all the way down, but not too much. Okay? Probably more than enough to think about in there, but that was good to see. You're all making progress. Anybody have a question?
Question for that one first.
Yep.
6, when you're coming up to the top, I find at a certain point, my hands are kind of like all the way up. And it feels like I need to like bend the elbow to get the Lagan points and the wrists to cross.
Yep.
So as you come up, is there a point where you're still going up, but they should be coming in to the center line there?
They need to, yes.
Right? I think in my head, I was supposed to be going kind of like heaven and earth, going up the whole way.
Yeah. So yeah, if you notice that my cross is happening here, and yes, I've bent my elbows a little maybe
Uh-huh.
in order to do that, but most of it's coming from my shoulders,
Okay.
and it's a rotation of the shoulders. It's not a,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that focusing on the shoulders.
yeah. Allows you, and you, because of the way you're going to come down in 6, notice that as you go up, that the palms arc over, so they're facing down, even though you're going to bend in with them as you go down.
Okay.
Bill or Joanne?
No, I think I'm, well, clear as mud. No, I'm,
Okay,
no, I don't have
Yeah.
any specific questions. Thank you.
okay,
Yeah. Broadly, where I'm the biggest mess in my mind, which may not be the only place, is really all the transitions. I'm just drifting from one to the other more than transitioning. And you don't need to go through all of them right now, but that's just a comment.
yeah. It's, other than the transition from 4 to 5, they're all pretty simple and pretty quick. 4 to 5 is something we'll continue to work on for a while. I can understand that. I think, just to be aware of, in just general about transitions, to make sure that you round the corners, as Master Joe put it. So it's important not to create a corner or create a stop. So even if you didn't happen to do it exactly the way I am, as long as you round it, it probably would be at least okay.
Okay.
What comes to my mind is going from 1 to 2. So when you get down to the lower dantian, and when you can feel the energy come down into your lower dantian, that really will be helpful, because at this point you're just in the qua squat with the C curve, but I mean qua fold, excuse me. And then you're going to go into the qua squat to begin 2. And so there is a continuing down and a roundness of the movement into the beginning of 2. So I think thinking about rounding the corners so that you don't have any stops or breaks is really important.
While you're at it, could you go through the transitions?
This is only not
I'll see that. Yeah.
I haven't done them. I didn't do them yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That he had asked
Oh, okay.
about them, but we weren't going to do that. But if you'd like that, I could do that. Well, I just did 1.
Yeah.
So 2 is going into 3. So that's just to continue the arc.
Yeah. Okay.
And going into 4, from 3 to 4, you come up and then you're going right down into it. So it's just, and then in going from 4 to 5, now you have the condensing happening here, and then the bend and extend. And usually in that transition, there is more bend than you're going to do after that, because you're condensing, and then you have to also bend. You want to keep making it as small as possible. So that was just right into, and from 5 to 6, again, is just make that curve happen. Yeah. See, you got him after all, Bill. So
I did not plant the follow-up question there.
Did you have another follow-up question?
This may be off topic too, but I feel where I'm feeling the energy the most is as I straighten up through the top, and as I'm sinking down, I'm feeling it, the connection with the earth through my feet and legs. And I'm not getting that much internal now. I have a feeling that may be coming, but that's kind of where I am. And as I'm experiencing that, I'm thinking about, what should, I'm, particularly the connection with the earth and the weighting of the feet. And I know when we're stretching, we're sort of extending our toes. You've mentioned that some too. And as you're pulling in, you pull things in, including the toes and weight. But could you just sort of, but I'm not shifting my weight very much. It's sort of in the center, except in, I guess, 3. But could you comment on that, or is that something we haven't hit much yet? So
We haven't really hit that yet. I have to say, listening to you, my thought was that I should mention to everyone, if you have time, to go on YouTube and listen to Alan Watts' lecture on overthinking will kill you. It is excellent, as lots of his things are, but it really applies to what we're doing, because it's so hard to let go of thinking. And we have to have a certain amount of it. Absolutely. I mean, we can't not think. We need it. We need to be able to think. That we can't survive day to day if we don't use our thinking ability. But very often we need to spend more time feeling than thinking in this practice, in any of our practices. But it's hard to let go of. Very hard. So we will come to that, though, Bill. Absolutely is the part of
okay,
it.
thank you.
Yep. So the other thing I was going to go into today was breathing into the upper lungs, but I think I'm going to not do that because I don't want to rush it. And, there are several elements we need to take some time to feel things. So I'm gonna not do that. So
You put plenty on our plates anyway.
I'm sorry.
You put plenty on our plates anyway.
Okay. I don't want you to overeat either. So I think maybe I'm actually going to end this a little early today, just because I think we've done enough, and I don't want to rush through this next part of the breathing, which is extremely important. So anyone have a last minute thought, question, request, whatever?
Can you just review the closing, just the steps?
They're in the notes.
Okay. Then,
Yeah, it's laid out exactly what I did.
perfect. Okay.
And we'll also have the video if you want to listen to it. So I don't think I really need to go through it again at the moment.
Okay.
Anything else for anyone? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a reminder, if you haven't sent your fee to me. We did start a new session last time.
Yes.
Thank you.
David, are you taking a break at the end of the year? What's our schedule through the end of the year?
Oh. Not a result, David. Let's see. Let me try to be precise about this. Yes, I am taking a break at the end of December. So we'll have a class on the 15th, this being the first. And that'll actually be the last class of the year.
Oh. Okay, so nothing on the 22nd or the 29th. Okay, that's helpful to know. Yep.
No. I find most people by the 22nd are involved in other things.
Things. Yep. That's okay. That's helpful to know. Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll come back on the 5th.
I believe.
1, 2, 2, 3. Yeah. Great.
I have it worked out, but I don't have it in my mind. I'm sorry. I'm trying to put that out to everybody. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Practice.
I'll be right back. All right.
Get out of here.
Next week.
Good, take care.
Right now. Yep.
Joanne's taking a break.
Sounds good.
I'm quickly regrouping because I was going to think about upper lung breathing in the form.
Oh,
Except we aren't there yet. Which is okay. Any particular form questions?
No, I've been working on the C-spine. It's been going a little better.
Oh, good.
I know we've been talking about that quite a bit. So at least it feels like a little more success, a little less searching for the physical feeling as much as energetically doing that.
Uh-huh.
And then,
Good.
doing what you said last week with the foot to kind of help the bottom part of the C-spine along. So
Good.
that's been good.
One step at a time.
Yeah, that's it. There's so much,
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I have a small meditation class that had gone through all the basic stuff that we have done before, but I now have been able to go on with them and take them through a lot of other stuff. It's actually been really good. And going much deeper and moving towards the Shingon practice that I've done a little bit of, which is spiritual
Oh,
Qigong based on gods. So after you do the whole gods thing and you've been practicing for a while, then you go into a spiritual practice with gods,
Oh,
which
wow.
which is really awesome
Yeah.
and very difficult. But hi, Joanne.
I did. Am I off? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, no.
Nope.
I was just saying to Adam, I had planned to go into upper lung breathing in the form, but obviously I'm not going to do that. So Adam was saying that he's been feeling that he's made progress with his C curve in the form. And I know you haven't probably been able to practice.
No, I was very happy with what I was able to do today. That was kind of the longest stretch of gods, because I don't usually do 10 each because of my leg. But my leg hurts, but it's okay. But I felt like I needed to do that. So
I was
yeah,
I was impressed that you could do it.
I really, yeah. Well, I'm standing on two rubber rugs, took ibuprofen before class.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, and if you look back at the tape, you'll see occasionally I'm shaking my right leg in between just to kind of
Well,
keep going. But I did it.
yeah, you do what you have to do.
You do what you have to do. Yeah, I don't want to lose this practice, so
Yeah.
it's important to me. But yeah, no, I won't be able to, especially after that, do the form. But I'm willing to be here and watch Adam's C curve. If that's what you want to do. Or just say, okay, it's a day. Whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So why don't we do that?
Okay.
Let me. Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, right there. Yeah, good.
Well, they're making progress with that.
Yeah, seems like it's coming along.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Um, it's still the pelvic tilt that's,
yeah, I know.
yeah, but it's, no, you've made huge progress.
Yeah.
Even since last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you're very much on the right track with
Okay.
that. Two or three comments I would make.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of knee pain at all?
Knee pain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are a number of places where a twist step would probably be appropriate to get your leg into the right alignment,
Okay,
that you don't do that.
okay,
And it just looks like, because you're turning your body clear into the bow stance or forward position, but the leg is being held back.
okay,
So you might think about that.
okay. I'll have to take a closer look, yeah.
Yeah. Just being sure that everywhere you're getting your legs into an alignment that allows the knee to
Yeah.
not be stressed.
Okay,
Yeah. The first two kicks
yep,
are not heel kicks. Remember they're
yeah.
side kicks?
right, okay.
So you do remember that.
I do, yeah, I know we've looked at that, okay. I can
Yeah.
sit back and then do
And it's
it.
a little difficult because they make kind of a circular
Mhm.
strike, and then you got to go into the next step. So yeah, that's coming going into, let's see, after shoot the bow. When you come out of that, use the shift back more.
Okay,
You were sort of shifting, but I didn't feel you really went back.
okay,
And part of that is that you should be able, because when you go forward, that's what drives the arms back to the kidneys.
okay,
Mhm.
When you come out of this, you need to go back. That gives you time to do that step so that as you go forward, you're pulling that energy out of the kidneys into the fists.
okay.
Timing was just kind of a little off there. But basically that was very good at it. Anybody comments on there, Joanne?
No, I guess, I mean, I think I saw the same thing you did in terms of the C curve. That seemed to be much more active from the middle back up than in the lower. But I could, it's always hard on the computer to see it, but it did feel like, particularly with the crane neck and the like, that you were feeling that, and that I noticed that definitely.
Good. Good. Okay. Well,
We're good. Yeah, that was, lovely to watch. I mean, it's a beautiful form, it really is. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
we look forward to seeing you doing it.
I look forward to being able to do it.
I'm sure.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see how the month proceeds. All right, thank you. See
Thank
you
you,
all next
guys.
week.
good seeing you, Joanne.
Right, you too, Adam. Take care.
Hang in there.
Yep. Keep at it.
Well,
Say hi to my brother, if you see him this weekend, I haven't seen him. in a while.
well, I saw him last weekend, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
see him in 2 weeks.
Okay,
But I'll say hello to it.
sure.
I'm definitely gonna call your father to do some work,
Right.
more towards the spring. That's at least 2 windows, probably 3 windows that need to be replaced.
Oh, okay.
And probably some other things too as time goes on. Just with our financial flow, we kind of have to
Space it out.
space it out.
I get that.
But he seemed willing to work with that. So as long as we could be flexible in time,
Gotcha, yeah.
yeah. So
That's good. New windows.
well, got to keep the place in some too.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, David.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
Have a good week.
You too. I'll see you next week.
All righty.